if you can hire somebody, hire somebody. So this ties in very closely to editing, but there's a big section actually, the editing part in my new book starts with, yes, you need to hire an editor, that is the opening line. Because I always get, well, do I really need to give it to anybody else? Well, hang on a minute. When you publish that book, you're giving it to potentially millions of people to read it, and you're worried that you're going to give it to one person who's not going to like it because they're an editor. I'm sorry, but editors will be a lot kinder than readers will be. So if you can hire somebody to go through it, do. Don't be put off by the fact that it's going to cost you money. Don't be put off by the fact that somebody's going to read what you've written, because they will. Because when you publish it, you have absolutely no control over how many people are going to read that book. It could be 2, it could be 20, it could be 2 million. You just don't know. So don't be put off by hiring a professional. But do, and there's a slide on this coming up, do look at the professionals that you're hiring and make sure that you hire the right people, because trust is a really big thing. This is your book, baby. It's something that you've put a lot of hard work into, blood, sweat and tears, and handing it over to somebody that's just going to take advantage of you and not do a very good job obviously isn't going to be very beneficial. So, does anybody have any questions on the 10 slides that I've just gone through? We've got about 20 minutes.
No, one that you've just said that you hire somebody like to edit it or look over it, how much would that be?
Well, thinking back to the editing costs earlier, about £30 an hour.
Right.
You'd be looking at, and that's for roughly 2,000 to 3,000 words. It depends. They might look at it and think this needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'll charge a bit more. They might look at it and think this can be done in no time. I'll charge a bit less.
Yeah.
People charge by word. People charge per hour. Everybody's different. So just get a couple of quotes. Talk to people. Get a feel for who they are. UK based or US, you know, if you're writing in the English language, preferably you want an editor that's main language is English, purely because they know most about the language, because it's their first speaking language. So stuff like that, just do a little bit of digging, a little bit of background on them. I'm not saying stalk them on Facebook, but you know, maybe if you can have a chat with previous clients. What was your experience? Read some testimonials, that sort of stuff. Get a sample as well. Alright. So, somebody asked earlier, how can you tell if a company's a vanity press? Okay, so spot the signs. Fees are in the thousands, but like I said, remember that large books cost more. So if you're getting quoted 1,000, 500 for a massive book that's going to be edited, that's why, because it's big. Contract is vague, or you feel that something's missing, they're not quite clarifying your questions, they're not answering your questions. Contact and response rates are really low. You send them an email, they don't get back to you for a week, ever. I've had that before. Negative reviews, if people are giving them bad feedback, bad comments, listen to it. Unreasonable fees for anything from editing, publishing, whatever they're charging for, you want to know why they're charging that, what you're actually going to get for your money. Website's poorly designed and the books listed look crappy. You're scrolling through the books, scrolling through the authors, and you think, these do not look very nice. It's not laid out in a nice way, it's not professional. That's a big turn off. It's like buying a book. You judge a book by its cover, don't you? Judge the books by the covers. None of the authors' names, faces or covers are familiar. They're not communicating with press, bookstores. You generally have just not heard anything about them. And it's a little bit different if, like my company, most of you probably never heard of Curious Cat Books. We're new, we're small. But some of the big publishing houses, Penguin, most of you have heard of Penguin because they're out there. They're doing stuff, they're a big company. So have a look at, Google them, you know, have a look at the reviews and are they active? Do they have a Facebook page? How often is the website updated? That sort of stuff. Also look into the authors that they've got signed to them. So are they doing well? What books have they got on Amazon? Look at the reviews on Amazon for those books. Have a look and search their names in the TNA, on the BBC website. See if there's any media floating around about them which shows that they've been sending press releases, that sort of stuff. Okay, instantly praise the book, tell you that a board has reviewed it and love it, but they want money. Can't love it that much if they want £3,000 to publish it, because they then must see a risk in that. Again, different with small companies. I physically cannot offer advances, even if I think a book will be a multi-million best-selling book, because I'm one person running a very, very small company. So, look at, like I said, look at the company's background as well. Advances are great, but you won't earn royalties until that advance has been effectively paid back through book sales anyway. So, flattery isn't always a positive thing. They might tell you it's the best book they've ever read and they want you on their team, but for £3,000. So, again, little to no editing. Use the look inside features. I don't know whether you know this, but on Amazon you can have a look at the first couple of pages, have a preview of the book.
A couple of chapters usually.
Yeah. Well, some do, yeah. Some are just, if it's a kid's book, I think it's a few pages, because obviously they don't want to give away the whole book. So yeah, have a nosy inside some of the books, see what the layout's like, what the editing's like, have a really good nosy.
Publishers don't even put in, it's just put in the first page, that's it.
That's a turn off.
It says it off, yeah, it says it all.
Turn off, yeah. Again, so if you can't see, how are you going to know? If you can't judge it, how are you going to know? So, just like I said, it doesn't mean that working with these companies is a bad idea. If they're going to do what you want out of your book, back to talking about what success means to us, if it meets your target and completes your goal, by all means, pay the money, go for it. But just make sure that you read your contracts, guys, and that you do your research. Alright? Reasons to hire a professional: editing, formatting, cover design, web design. These are all things, as a startup, you're going to want to make sure that you invest in. I know that things cost money. If you can start your own website and give it a go, Wix, W-I-X, is good fun. It's free if you want to set up a free one. Personally, obviously I run a business, I pay for mine, so I can have .com rather than .com/Wix/ a million and one other things. So it's really easy to find. And also it gives me access to lots of other features. But if you just want to have a play around and see if you actually are capable of doing it, try Wix, W-I-X, completely free. There's also...
It actually just gives you name.wix.com/home.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. But you can buy your domain names, and by domain names I mean like mine's erachelhardcastle.com, curiouscatbooks.co.uk. That's your domain. It's your actual hosting that you're paying for when you go through here. So they're saying you can have so many images uploaded, we'll give you this much bandwidth and all that. That's what you pay for. But your actual domains can be about 20 quid, and it's yours for a year. You just renew it every year. So they're actually fairly cheap and easy to do. But we're near at the end. Any questions, queries or concerns, comments, anything about what I've just talked about? You all look like you're ready to
If I
kill
have a
me.
question or a query, could I just email you?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
You know, I didn't expect you to get back to me in the first 24 hours.
Submissions are open at the moment, so I'm being bombarded. So if your email isn't answered within my standard 48 hours, don't panic. I have got it, but I have
It
like...
would just be a question. If somebody said something to me, I'd think, oh, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fire away, no
You
problem at all.
answered me for hours on a Sunday after finding out that that guy were a vanity press. we talked for God knows how.
Yeah, we were back and forward literally every 10 minutes or something. So it was, most companies will keep in touch with you, and you were having trouble getting in touch with that guy, weren't you? So yeah, that's a big turn off. So a little bit about my company, the books that I've got with me today, and obviously anything that I can offer you for further support and help, because I know how hard it is. And it is really overwhelming when you're first getting started. There's so much that you don't know, that how are you going to learn it all? How are you going to know that you don't know something? So this is a little bit about my company. We're contribution based, and that's purely for the editing side of things. So when you pay me, you are paying me, not 20 other people. It is me that runs the company, and it's purely to cover your copy editing fees. It's low cost, so those fees that you saw earlier on the screen, that's the sort of thing you're going to look at. If I think it needs more work, it might be slightly higher, but I'm not going to charge you an arm and a leg, certainly not as much as £1,000 if you're producing a children's book, let's put it that way. And I use print on demand as well, so I use self-publishing services to achieve basically like what a traditional publisher achieves. I'll create you the book to a professional standard, but we use print on demand, which means I'm not going to charge you for stocking 50 books. You can order as many books as you want, and you order them whenever, however you like. Short contract as well, so my contracts run for 12 months, so you sign to me. You might decide after 12 months you've learned all you can, your book's got going, but you actually want to take control back and you decided that you want to go self-publish. That's fine. You can get out of the contract anytime, no exit fees. I am purely here as a platform for you guys to just get going. I'm here basically to say, okay, let's help you get started. If after 12 months you think, do this on my own, or if after 12 months you think, not really keen on that, by all means, take it elsewhere, move on. Yeah, I wish you well. And there's no hard feelings. Personal and passionate, so like I said, you only ever deal with me. And when submissions are open, I usually get back to people within about 24 hours by email. But all my websites have a chat facility as well, so you can actually live chat with me. And when you get a message that says, "Hi, it's Rachel, is there something I can help you with?" it is genuinely Rachel, it is me. So it's not a bot that you're talking to. So that's a little bit about my company and what I offer. That's how to find me online on social media if you want to note any of that down. And the last thing, in the last 5 minutes, I want to talk to you about is this bad boy. This is my book that I released in November. It has what I think is the best name. It's called The Universe Doesn't Give a Shit About Your Book. And it's a brutally honest guide to self-publishing, and it is brutally honest, guys. I've had people read this and people come back to me and say, "Oh, you don't hold anything back, do you?" Well, no, because if I held it back, you wouldn't know what you were doing, and that's not really the point. So I've got about 10 copies with me today. If anybody wants one, they're at the back. They are $14.99, and your USB stick is included if you want to take that as well. It covers everything from platforms, formatting, editing, marketing, events. It even covers how to add a signature to your emails so that when you're sending backwards and forwards to publishers, to other authors, it actually says who you are, what you do, how people can find you. The very basics. You might think that's too basic, but some people genuinely need that. There's a whole list of things in here about what to look for when you're self-editing, which punctuation marks to use, what redundancies are, cliches, metaphors, all the wonderful terms like bleed that you come across when you're uploading and formatting your own books. Bleed is a real bugger and it's really complicated. That's all in here. So it's just a collection, like a reference guide for you guys to use as and when you want it, like a desk guide really. And that's available as well. The things that I've given you on your desk are a sheet about editing. So if you're looking to hire an editor, this sheet here just gives you a little bit of information about what editors do, what they will look for, that sort of thing. And there's also a bit of a coupon on the bottom as well for 30 minutes of a consultation with me should you need it in future that you can claim. There is one of my leaflets that's just got my website address on, all that sort of stuff. My business
Is
card.
a member of the team? Are you a team or on your own?
A team, I am on my own, but I have a team of volunteers that work with me to promote. So when you see me at an event, you'll generally see me with somebody like this. Oops, hang on a minute. You'll see me with these guys.
Oh, right.
These are my volunteers that come and dress up and they'll come and field queries for me. They will come and hand leaflets out, meet and greet people so that I don't end up with a queue, you know, that sort of thing. So I am the only employee, but I have a couple of volunteers that act as my team and my support. Kind of like a street team. There's a free bookmark there for you, and on here, if you do want to sign up to any of my mailing lists, just leave me your name, your email address, hand it in. I'll make sure that I get you subscribed. You'll have membership access if you want it, and I'll show you how to do that now. So if you go to my website, curiouskatbooks.co.uk, you can go to members. It will look a little bit different to this because I'm already signed in. You'll get a screen that says log in through Facebook or log in through an email address. Create a free login, totally free to do. You'll get a little profile you can update about you, your name, your picture, what you're writing, that sort of stuff. You'll get access to a forum where you can ask and answer questions. That's just a little bit about submissions being open. That's the forum there. That's the last event actually I did at the library, that's upstairs. And then you'll get the first chapter of the book I've just shown you for free to read on a PDF. And you'll also get these other little free downloads as well. So there's a guide to marketing, there's a workbook, there's a submissions checklist, there's a reading list with all my favourite books on, you know, like how to write, how to publish books, all that sort of stuff. And you'll get access to all of my videos and my content 48 hours in advance as well. So you'll see everything before anybody else does. So if you want to sign up as a member, you guys can do that at home, in the comfort of your own home on your own laptops. If you want to just subscribe and have the presentation sent to you, just fill this in, bring it to me and I'll subscribe you and sort that out. Okay? I'm here if you want to ask any questions, but I think we've maybe just run out of time. But I will hang around at the end in case anybody wants books, questions, anything.
Yeah. So if anyone hasn't signed up for this email list for any more information on the workshops, definitely. And
is
I
it?
just want to say that I've read Emma's book, so I highly recommend it.
Oh yeah, it's got the shields.
Yeah.
Beta red.
I beta read your
And you provided me, in fact, your name